We at the Book of War podcast acknowledge that with the platform comes responsibility. The stories we tell are deeply rooted in themes of colonialism, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. And while we understand that there are many of you who use this podcast to disengage and take a breath from the realities of life, we cannot in good conscience ignore the reality of the people of Palestine. We are witnessing a genocide, ethnic cleansing, and occupation committed by the Israeli military regime. Over 11,000 Palestinians have been murdered, and thousands more are suffering from the denial of food, water, power, medical assistance, and contact with the outside world. They are suffering from dispossession, destruction of their homes, and a lack of basic human rights. We at the Book of War podcast encourage you not to look away and use your voices. We encourage you to share information, educate yourselves, contact your local representatives in a demand for a ceasefire, to protest safely where possible, and to listen to your affected communities. And above all else, we ourselves demand a ceasefire and an end to the 75-plus year occupation of Palestinian land and its people. This podcast of storytellers would like to acknowledge the first storytellers whose land we are recording on today, the first peoples of the Kulin Nation. We would like to pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge them and their Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples whose culture lives on today in Naarm, the city, Melbourne. Theirs is the oldest in the world, and their sovereignty was never ceded.
Welcome to the Book of War, an Avatar Legends real play. No, hello, baddies, benders, and babes, and welcome to the Book of War, an Avatar Legends real play. The story of 4 runaways seeking the Book of War in a world without the Avatar. My name is Jesse Thomas, and I play Minh Fang, the Foundling, he, him, a repressed runaway lava bender from the Earth Kingdom who found a new home for themselves in the Northern Water Tribe while hiding from deadly family obligations.
Oh, nailed it. Good
Got it one. Yeah, here we go. I've been thinking about it for a long time, so I'm glad I finally got it out. My Min fact today is that Min had a crush on Yanni, which is why he's so upset.
And he's got to eat about it.
That's cute. So now you've decided to take this moment to start chomping things on the mic.
I know who I am.
I know what I'm about.
Yeah, had a crush. Chomp, chomp. Here we go. Get on with the show.
Hi, my name is Lucas. I play Tomo, the Razor, he, him, a combustion bender who likes to keep entrees and secrets close to his chest and is trying to redefine his place in the world. Tomo fact, so when he was first pulled into this whole underground combustion bender thing, I wanted to say that he was given a number instead of a name. Just because of, there was a high rate of attrition, let's say. So we are going to find out what that name number was right now. 10.
Oh.
I was actually hoping for 11, but
10.
never mind, 10.
What 0 is on? Oh, you've added the numbers together.
Added numbers together.
I see. I was like, how do you have a 0 on a D6, Tomo? Lucas.
So yes, so he was known as 10 before he earned a name.
It's 1 off 11. I'm just pointing that out.
Well.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Georgie Hazel. I play Nuro, the Destined, they, she, he. Nuro is a runaway from the strange and magical boggy swamp due to the threat of war. And Nuro had to leave the swamp. But there might be stranger things following them right out. And I have a Nuro fact, just a real random Nuro fact, and that is that they are a brilliant tracker in the swamp and most humid environments. Yeah, I think they're... Yeah.
Are you just hoping that you got that so in the next episode or two I'll have a humid environment? You'll be like, hey everyone, got this covered.
Just saying, wherever there's water, Nuro knows things.
Oh.
Go on, throw to that one, Ted.
Speaking of humid.
Yes. Speaking of sweaty, stinky boys.
That's not at all what was said.
It's humidity. It's humidity. It's humid to me means sweaty, stinky boys.
Humid to me.
Yeah, I like that much better, yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name's Ted Darling. I play Banji the Guardian, he, him, a runaway from the Fire Nation army who's instead chosen to use his strength to protect the vulnerable. Sorry, I always get like a big run up and I feel like I'm not breathing very well today.
We did a whole breathing exercise.
Yeah, I know. We needed to do it again. It's because where we record is quite stuffy tonight, I feel. It's very humid and stuffy. Nobody else feel that?
No, I think you got the Rona.
Yeah, okay. Banji fact, he revealed his vision in the last episode, and that was that he had taken Nuro to the two brothers, Ozai and Iroh, which left the world in flames. So he's kind of hoping that by turning his back on his friends and his family and his nation as a whole, that he has averted that destiny. Hopefully.
Hello, my name is Ash. I am the Grand Master of the White Lotus, and I feel ever so much so today on the grounds that I have a brand new shiny GM screen, which has come from Magpie Games. It's got some fancy artwork on the side that all the players can see, and it's got all the little extra bits for me, such as what happens during combat exchanges and what triggers certain moves and whatever else on the backside.
Cheating.
Yeah, it's basically cheating, and I'm okay with it because reasons. So yes, you can ask me any question, and since I don't know the screen, I still take just as long to find the answer. But one day, this is going to be so helpful. It's relatively pointless to a degree because I don't make any rolls behind this screen. So, and my notes are already on an iPad that I can just hide from you anyway. So
Maybe you should turn the screen around so that we can
Yeah, I think I need that more than you.
that's the smartest thing you've ever said, Ted. Roll the music. I know.
Yeah, Ted, you're not an absolute moron like Ash said, okay? You're very smart.
I'm a smart boy.
It is the next day. It is time to leave. Yarni's nowhere to be seen. Very, very likely she is passed out somewhere on the grounds that this is the first time that she's had a bender in a fair while.
And a drink, right?
Hey.
Hey. I was trying to figure out what to say, but
I'm a smart boy.
The irony here is that I missed the joke until I saw Lucas's face. I'm like, oh no, I've just said something funny. What is it? But no, I am in essence shorthanding this to say that it is time to go. You are one dragon ride away from being where you want to be. Good news is everyone's rested with a fairly good night. Iroh managed to find a pretty okay place to be. Everyone take back 2 fatigue.
Awesome.
Done.
Just watching everyone's pens move so rapidly. Not a single person reach for it. That's fine. You all head to the wharf to see Worf, who has been taking good care of Hikaru, who has had more fish than he's had in a fair while. He's almost drowsy, like,
Fish drunk.
Yeah, he's fish drunk. He's like, you look down and you're like, is his belly a bit wider? Is he looking a little bit less sleek?
That's good. We need the space for the saddle, right? Banji just walks up and he gives Worf a little wink, and as he winks, a little flame comes up. That's his thing now. And he just casually kind of jumps into the captain's seat.
Used to be a spark, I think, at some point.
Yeah, okay. It's evolved from a spark to a flame.
Okay.
A flame's more appropriate than a spark
How
anyway.
many eyelashes have you lost?
Yeah, he's got no eyelashes on the edge of one eye.
The slit on his eyebrow isn't from, it's just like from him winking.
I think Min's still bandaged up across the face, sadly.
Yeah.
He's still, don't think it's healing anytime soon. So, like, Min's in a lot of pain and he's irritable, I think. So he's like, come on, lizard.
I think at some point Iroh would have said, do you want me to have a look at that?
Yeah.
And you see him like take out a needle and thread. And is like, I think I could probably give that a stitch.
All right, hold on. When you say you think you could probably, do you mean you've done it before and you think you're confident, or?
I've done it before.
He takes off one of his socks and you see where he's stitched it back together.
All right,
It's just
I would think I would prefer the child. Thank you so much,
and he
Nuro.
hands the needle and thread to Nuro.
Can we wait till we're cruising softly on a cloud? No, I don't want to do it in takeoff. I don't want to lose an eye.
No needles during takeoff.
Okay, that's sound advice. Wise beyond their years.
How I want to give Worf a certain amount of money, not too much, but not insulting. Like is 5 gold pieces like a reasonable amount for the amount of fish he?
I think that when you like go to present him money, he says, "Oh no, we're you've done a lot for our village. It's fine."
Thank you. But we were never here, right?
You or your boat were never here.
Thank you.
I mean, last time it was glowing, this time it has teeth, so I'm just going to pretend.
I don't think anyone would believe you anyway.
I mean, he sort of like pulls himself up to his big height. It's like, I'm a very honest man.
I think Tomo is probably just going to get Sudi to try to just do reverse pickpocketing and just drop like a couple of gold pieces in his pocket.
Yeah, I think that happens. I'm pretty okay with that. And you all get on Hikaru, who like simultaneously sluggishly and rapidly manages to like, I don't know quite how else to describe it. You're just like, why does this feel slower and yet somehow is the right speed?
Min does that every time. He's going to scream every time he takes off. He never expects it.
He also doesn't have his safety rope anymore. He was cruising around in the last chapter as well, without any form of safety rope. He was like swapping seats.
Min was unhinged.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he screamed last time too.
No, but like you didn't have your rope and you were actually swapping seats, which I don't know.
Yes, I think he's used to it now. I think he trusts Hikaru a bit more that like he doesn't move the section of his body that we're on where the saddle is. Like he's like, no, I'll keep that bit non-moving. So yeah, he's feeling a bit more comfortable on Hikaru. He trusts Hikaru now because he's never fallen off before. So
that makes sense. I would like Banji to roll assess the situation, please.
Can do, boss.
Nuro's just looking very sadly back at Natsuo Island, by the way.
Natsuo Island looks sadly back at you.
That's Snake Eyes.
Oh. Snake Eyes?
Yeah.
Nice.
And 0 with creativity, so that's a 2.
Okay.
I'm not a smart boy.
You are not a smart boy. Okay. Carry on, and I will let you know when someone brings up the appropriate trigger what that roll was meant to determine.
Awesome.
So Nuro
They're already just like there.
with the what?
Needle and thread.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was thinking, where are we going? Since you know how to get us to places, at least maybe we should get on the right course, and then you can start doing stuff to my face.
All right. And just to say, we're going to that cave. Is that our goal?
Yes. We're going to Avatar. Wait.
I wrote it down.
There's a Y. There's a Y.
I'm sure it started with K.
No, there's a Y. There's a Una. No, it's close to Una though. It's not. No, I think it's around. It's like.
I like the idea that this is actually.
I have it written
Aria.
down.
Was it after
Aria. I was so wrong. There's no Y in there at all.
Also no K.
I never said there was a K. It was all Lucas.
Yes, Avatar Aria. A reminder that you have no way of spiritually locating Avatar Aria.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to use the stick to at least figure out the safest route, like as close as possible to it. Would you allow that?
So the thing about it is that I'm not going to make. I'll make you mark a fatigue.
Oh wait, we have the map. We marked it on the map where we were going.
We do have a map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pull out the map that we that we have, and I'm like, hold on the stick just for a moment, Nuro. Maybe we don't need to traumatize you every time we need to travel. And he pulls out the map, and he pulls it out, and he's like, Yanni didn't mark it.
No, it's marked.
Oh, okay.
There are two bases for this map. One is the sort of zoomed in section of where it is, down at the Southern Ice Tribes. And the second component is sort of what should be around it or what isn't. The issue that you've got is that currently, based on the map that you have versus the direction that Banji is taking you, because he was not paying attention to up, down, left or right, you don't recognize any landmarks right now. That was your snake eyes.
Yeah.
Banji's confidently looking ahead.
I'm looking at the map, and then I'm looking around, and I'm like, I have no idea where we are. Can anyone figure this out? Banji, where have you taken us?
The way we're meant to be going.
Yeah, which is where?
Sorry, I have to focus.
Nuro takes a look at the map where it's marked and then looks at the sun. And I just tries to calculate like a very basic kind of direction.
Give me a rely on your skills and training.
Okay.
I swear you said that waterbenders know which way.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But where are you now?
True.
You can't just
We know we're going south.
you can't just geolocate. Your sun's there.
Well, I mean, we're like
wind's
right
going
by
that way.
Nuro, right?
No, you flew off. Like,
But it's still there. We'd know where, like, roughly where we are in the ocean.
yeah,
I did roll a 2, guys. So
You just went up and then into a cloud, and then you just chose a direction.
yeah.
that's pretty much what I'm going with. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
This
Nuro's,
episode's called
This is specifically
Lost in
hard
Motivation.
because Ted rolled poorly. That is
Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah.
Relies on skill and...
Focus.
Is that -1?
Yeah,
Tomo's gonna go.
that's a 6.
Tomo gonna spend a fatigue here to help you out, and Tomo is going to. No. Try.
the map's upside down.
Yeah, basically, like try this way. I think this lines up better.
Oh, by God, you're right. Thank you, Tomo. And I'm able to really, really basically plot a course.
Yeah. This course correct does take effect, but now it is the longer way to travel is not quite right, but you're definitely now going in slightly harsher conditions.
Yeah.
So everyone mark 1 fatigue, please.
Okay.
Hey, does anyone notice it's getting cold? That sucks.
Banji's just shivering up the front. Actually, no, I feel like he'd be cool. He's a hot boy. He's fine.
Traditionally, they firebenders actually really struggle with cold temperatures.
Banji's shivering up the front, everybody, but doesn't say anything about it.
In the it's why they put them in the cooler for when they were in
true.
fibers. Like they can't. Iroh, on the other hand, has taken out some sort of blanket or something and has wrapped himself up. He looks very snuggly, and he has tea for some reason. Like the pot sitting in front of him is like, anybody else need to be heated up?
Yes. I would like some tea, please.
Nuro wants to heat up the needles a bit and make sure that they're
Oh,
sterilized, actually.
yeah. So if he sees the needle and you see a little like jet of flame come out of his little finger, it's like,
We're not doing it hot, are we?
We gotta sterilize it, man.
Oh, I thought you were going to like put a hot needle in my face.
it'll be warm.
Well, if you sit still, it'll be fine.
Oh,
I love that Nuro can't read but knows germ theory.
Like I feel in the swamp if you don't know
true.
germ theory.
yeah, you're probably done, actually. Yeah.
Yep. Is the water moving? If it's
All
not,
right.
don't drink it.
The hot never bothered me anyway. All right, let's go.
Oh, you are a hot boy, aren't you?
Well, I guess in a way. And he takes an earthbender sitting position and like starts taking off his bandage.
Yeah.
He's like, and then the cold air sort of stings. He's like, oh god, spit it. All right, just
Do you gotta hold kibosh?
Yeah. He starts hugging the barge with his head sort of like up, forward, raised.
I would like you to roll with focus, please.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to roll with heritage, which
Okay.
is a 0.
Is you going to mark fatigue to roll with 0?
Our focus is also a 0. All right, I'll just roll with focus then. That's a 6.
Come on, Garbage, you got to give him something.
No, okay. I'll tell you what. Kavaj does. You don't let out a whimper, but you do see a single solitary tear comes out.
Oh, I thought you were just like, hey, this is so you don't move and get permanently, badly, worsely scarred.
No.
Oh, if it hurts, Min's going to be like, oh.
But Nuro is very calm while doing this.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
first clean the wound out properly.
Ow.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
That really hurt.
They're almost like they've done this. I like to think that they've done this so many times, and they're almost like humming at points. And very, you might hear it first, like feel it first go through.
I just picture it as like after it's done, it's just like a butterfly. Like and like, yeah, I know a butterfly stitch, and it's just like it's a literal butterfly image.
And just to kind of keep your mind off it for a second, I'm just like, it was real nice to see you speak your mind so much, man.
Yeah. Well, ow. I kind of pressed it for so long. Oh. Slower, please.
For those playing at home, Georgie's like pretending to make the soul emotion, and every time they do, Jessie is making that ouch noise. It's very fun to watch from my seat.
Nuro starts to be a little bit more gentler, goes more gently. I don't know. Someone either like needs to distract you, or I finish up very easily.
Yeah, with a beautiful little butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so tight. My
Yeah.
face is so
Nuro
tight.
just like dunk, bites the little end
Is
off.
your mouth so close to the wound a good idea?
All right, you're all done. I promise. Well, no, there's going to be a scar, but it ain't going to be so bad now that I've stitched it up properly.
Thank you, Nuro. And he sort of feels, and he feels that it's like it's not bad, but it's also like not a doctor's thing. He's probably seen his mum get like stitched up a bit every now and then. And he's like, oh yeah, it's a bit wonky there. And this is not going to look pretty. And he's sort of like a bit morose about it.
Iroh's like still got his sock in his hand, and you see the line is perfectly straight.
I wish that I could heal with my waterbending, but this is the best I got.
Yeah, look. Well, I think that can only go so far anyway. This is pretty bad. Well.
Just
It
don't
makes me-
touch it.
Sorry, I need to stop touching it. Look, I'll just be more rugged. Now I've got a rugged look about me.
There, man.
Oh, the salt in my tears hurts.
I don't know. Pray to Garbage.
How turbulent is it? What's the wind speed like up here?
I've gone with none. Like, I think the car is slowed down to the point that
It's
just
just
like gliding
chilly.
along. It's just chilly.
Okay, so
It's Tears of the Kingdom. You see the whoosh, and like all of a sudden everyone's shivering. The cold meter's gone down.
well, I guess I'm trying to assess whether if I take out my Pai-Sho set, are the pieces just going to fly everywhere, or can we possibly have a game?
You can play a game.
Guess who I want to play a game with?
Iroh.
Tomo is gonna turns to Iroh. Prince Iroh, we have a few hours till we get there, and Tomo pulls out a Pai-Sho board.
As you do that, he says, "Honestly, you'll find that it's a bad habit to say Prince Iroh so frequently because you'll say it at the wrong time. Call me Hiro. We all know the big secret's out, but call me Hiro."
Hiro, would you like to be the host or the guest? And I'm referring to,
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to have some notes?
No, I think that he pulls out his tiles and he says, "I'm very ready to play."
Excellent. And Tomo, well, the host, the guest goes first. The host, this is Lucas talking because I'm assuming Iroh's, everyone would probably know the basic rules.
It's your board, so you'd be hosting.
So Tomo is going to, so Iroh can make the first move.
Yes. How do you see this playing out, Lucas?
I would say so I've never played Pai-Sho before, but the way it describes it feels like very similar in principle to Go, which is something I've played a lot. So the first stages of Go between two masters is quite evasive. They would be dancing around each other on the edges of the board rather than coming in and trying to compete. So the goal of Pai-Sho is to create these harmonies, and in doing so disrupts your opponent's harmonies. So basically build in a way that not only makes you stronger, but weakens you. So I think Tomo is like letting Iroh go first means that Tomo can almost mirror his move. So if we were dueling in the fencing, I guess that might make it easy to picture. It is just two swordsmen circling each other, waiting for the other ones to slip up.
Okay, I think that what happens is that he starts off with a more aggressive maneuver and then sees what you're doing and then backs it right off, if that makes sense. So all of a sudden he goes, yes, you do know how to play. I will then play properly as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because the one mistakes, the most common mistake that the new Go players make is going for the kill too soon, and that opens yourself up for vulnerabilities and getting tripped up.
Can I please have one of your die?
Sure.
All right.
Yep.
How about we roll and we see who comes out on top in this combat?
Sure.
While they're playing the game, I think Banji will get up from the captain's seat and walk back to the saddle and sit down and kind of plonk himself next to Nuro and lean into them because he's cold. He's like trying to get that body heat. Like, sorry, wee one, I'm a bit cold.
Nuro wraps their arms around you.
I got a 4.
I got a 2.
Oh,
all of us in the saddle.
But like as Tomo's playing, he's also going to be talking and asking questions.
yeah, of course.
Hiro, you say you want to get knowledge.
Isn't that the point of any world journey?
Absolutely. What kind of knowledge are you seeking?
That's the fun of adventure. You never know what knowledge you are seeking until you have found it, and sometimes even not then.
But we are going for the Book of War.
I don't know what the Book of War is, and I can't wait to find out.
I mean, the name is pretty self-explanatory, I believe.
I have learned a long time ago. You don't necessarily judge a book by its title.
Well, as you're there, Tomo. My mother used to hide alcohol in a book called Spirits and Worldly Knowledge. She just read it whenever she wanted to drink without father figuring it out. I don't think that's actually the thing that Hiro's trying to say.
No, it's pretty close. The Book of War might in fact have alcohol in it. Let's find out.
Yep. Can we roll again for the mid stage of the game?
I was just taking that as sort of a once over.
Oh, really? That feels
You lose.
a bit,
Lol. He's a master.
That feels a bit mean.
He does one of those, like, check. I wiped your whole board in a single moves.
Remember this game is about sort of simple rolls. It's not a D&D thing where you go backwards and forwards.
I guess in my mind was that I wanted to use this opportunity to grill iroh. It's not so much about the game
No,
itself.
you can keep going. That was just the result. I think as you're playing, you realize that, you think about it as your people person thing, you realize that you are in fact outmatched.
Yeah.
Where you, at some point you probably thought you were like, oh yeah, this is an even, I'll get a response out of this. And then you realize that in like 5 or 6 moves, like you're done. But you can keep asking questions and playing the game.
Mm-hmm. You are on vacation.
He says he's on vacation.
Yeah.
What happens when you finish your vacation, Hiro?
I understand that there is not a huge amount of trust for me while I am here. Sometimes we have to separate the individual from the action, and sometimes they are completely inseparable. I cannot stop this war. Well, I can, but not without a lot of people suffering for it. So I am learning as much as I can to try and see if there is any form of unity that can be held, or alternatively, if there is any way we can end it in a different way.
You mean quickly?
Quickly is an option, but there are some lines I just will not cross.
Thank you for your candor. And Min sort of steps up and moves away from the Pai-Sho game and sits away.
I think he sort of looks at everyone and he says, is this not a moment where we see people from different nations coming together? You can hate me, or you can hate Banji, but you don't.
I don't hate you, Hiro. I don't even know you. Oh. But, what changed your mind? Your whole family is trying to, I don't know, do a lot of damage and hurt this world.
My grandfather had these wild thoughts. My father is less involved. My brother's a psychopath. But if I can figure out a way that this war ends, where, well, no one's going to be happy, but the most people can be happy.
And there's nothing in it for you, really?
I get a trip to see everything I've always read about.
You do a lot of reading, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I can't read. I'd like to.
I did not expect someone who went to the library of all knowledge to not be able to read. And I think
life is ironic like that.
I think he sort of looks at the rest of them and is like, why has no one helped teach young Nuro how to read?
We've kind of been busy, bro.
What could be more important than the gift of knowledge?
Living, surviving, which is what we've had to do for a little bit, sadly. Hey, I read a lot too, all right? Biggest bookworm out there, okay?
The Book of Spirits?
What?
Is it the Book of Spirits you read?
Is that a thing?
Your mother's Book of Spirits?
What? I mean, wow. I wrote for a second.
I'm using your own joke.
I know. It's like, what? I'm 17, sir.
Oh.
Well, I don't drink. I have drunk. I didn't mind it.
That was hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe my face wouldn't hurt if I was drinking. Wait a minute. You know what? Actually, I think I would just prefer to drink responsibly. So.
Never drink and fly a dragon.
Not on my list, Hiro.
Tomo is getting increasingly frustrated as Iroh is clearly not putting everything into this game, and Tomo is still getting his ass handed to him. And he has never, he has never even lost before. So this is a very new experience for him.
I mean, just remember that, he is a master tactician, and he studied with the best.
Yeah, well, the writing's on the wall. So with this game, you got to keep going to, there's no place left to place. So you could be losing for a long time if you sort of know what to look for. And Tomo is going to stick it out to the very end. But there is...
He's using your patterns to make his patterns look better.
Pretty much, yeah. And Tomo is starting to you see... maybe there's a bit of vein sort of popping out. Like there's a grudge here being formed.
Look, Hiro, while you're pretty resoundingly sousing our friend here, if you're going to travel with us, we just need to know that you're going to, be with us or not at all. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm putting down?
I think I know what you mean.
We've gone through a lot, and like, if you force us to go through it again, even more, I mean, I'm not going to hold back. Banji's not going to hold back. You think he's made his stance pretty clear.
I'll scare the pantaloons off you.
Yeah. So, like, this isn't like a threat. This is just like courtesy of being like, listen, be cool, and we will also be cool. Do you know what I mean? Does that seem equitable, fam?
I think he
Mali? I look to everyone else.
He looks at Banji and he says, I saw your wall of fire trick. I've seen it twice now. I think I could help you improve it if you needed.
Oh,
That's great. I can't help but feel that you just avoided answering the question, though.
I was trying to answer your question by offering some helpful statement.
Okay.
That would, if you were to try and turn against me, or I turned against you, that you could use against me.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
I just didn't want to be on the nose about it.
Sure. Tomo, how's losing, buddy?
Tomo doesn't respond. He just places a towel down.
I think Suri starts putting tiles down in the wrong spots because if you from a very early episode, you're like,
Yeah.
Suri doesn't know how to play.
Doesn't know how to play.
Suri starts putting it down. It's like, oh, good move, Suri, and gives it a little pat. And she absolutely responds to the praise. Like,
Yep. Suri trusts you.
Yeah.
And that's why, for the time being, you are our guest, Hiro.
is it because I went first in the Pai-Sho?
It's only because Suri trusts you.
I like guest. I think guest is a good way to put it, actually. You're a guest. You're our guest, Hiro.
I think Banji, almost absent-mindedly, as he's kind of sitting there shivering next to Nuro, and he's kind of rubbing his hands and stuff. And then when he hears about, Hiro staying on as a guest and being offered this chance to improve his firewall, he kind of like smirks at Hiro and he's like, there would have been a time in my life when I would have absolutely jumped at the chance to go to the capital and study under one of the Fire Lord princes. And then he pulls out the Pai-Sho tile, because everyone's, doing Pai-Sho. He pulls out the Pai-Sho tile, the White Lotus tile, absentmindedly forgetting the significance of it. And he's like rolling it across his fingers in a really cool way, as cool people do with coins.
But Teddy's explaining this because he doesn't know what cool people do. He's assuming if he says the word
cool people do coins, right?
Yeah.
But, if you think that you have something that you could teach a dragon, then I'd be willing to listen.
I think he says, oh, I have taught many dragons before.
Well then, good. Fandabi doozy, let's get on with it.
The kind of dragons that fly?
Oh, no, I meant the people that call themselves dragons.
Where do you stand on that, by the way? Just out of curiosity. You're not going to ice this dragon when we're not looking.
Why would I do that? This is a beautiful creature. And he
good.
reaches out and tries to scratch it as close to the belly as he can. Sort of holding on. He's like,
The slightly larger belly.
slightly, it's slightly larger so I can almost reach it.
I think that Hiro knows that if he does anything to this dragon, he'll be sorry. Right, Hiro?
The dragon might eat me. Yeah, of course.
Great.
Also, you would all be very upset. And we're flying in the middle of the southern water tribes from the look down there.
Yeah.
It is
Man,
getting
it's
cold.
so cold. I break the Geminite bangle off and just try to see if I can make it lava, and I can't. I'm like, damn, I was hoping that would work.
He takes off this sort of blanket type thing that he's got. He's like, you can all huddle under this if you need.
No, I think it's our fault for not preparing, and I'd like to remember this. It's also numbing my scar a bit, actually, so I'm okay being cold.
Speaking about remembering things, is Tomo able to... Can I say that I become a slightly better Pai-Sho player after having actually
Yeah, I don't
play it
think
against
I don't think
them.
you've ever played anyone who is this good at the game.
Yeah.
So you've learned at least one or two extra patterns that you just didn't know. What you can do that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Um,
We have some time, Banji. Would you like to work on this technique with me?
Yes, I think I would.
You can do that in the sky?
Oh, of course.
Won't you? You know what? I'm not going to think about how your fire's just going to go all weird in the wind. I'm just going to look away and pretend I'm sleeping or something. I don't know.
He hands a blanket to you, and young Tedwood,
Yes.
is your balance currently in line with center, or
No.
are you free from conditions?
No and no.
Okay. Do you and your teacher share at least one background?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a +1. Does your teacher agree to the reasons for your training and learning? Yes, he instigated it. And is this technique easy to grasp based on your current training? 100%. So you are rolling with a +1.
Cool. And what am I rolling? Sorry.
This is training. This is how quickly you pick up this training.
Is it just a flat roll plus the 1? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Nice. That is a 9.
It's going to... The choice is yours. It can either take a little bit more time than usual, which means that you won't learn it today, or you can mark 2 conditions to try and show off for Iroh that you can do this just as good as he wants.
Yeah, I think he'd mark 2 conditions, especially because, and I think it would be maybe insecure and troubled, I feel like, because insecure because he's kind of like, I'm a dragon, and then is sort of not quite grasping it as easily as he should. And his thing is he's the firewall, right? So he's kind of like, I should be better than this. I should, and troubled because, he knows that Iroh is potentially seeking a dragon and he's currently on Banji's dragon. So I feel like those 2 conditions would make sense.
It makes sense to me.
Cool.
Do you actually have a move for your firewall? We just always said it sort of happens.
No, I do. No.
Those are 2 different answers, Ted.
No, I don't think I do because it's just one of those things that,
Well, it's been your fighting style, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a
you've
fighting
just been
style.
able to do it.
All right, I'm going to give you an actual move, and it is called Wall of Fiery Breath. So rather than trying to conjure it almost out of nothing, in this case, he's teaching you. And it's the perfect point. He says, as you breathe, imagine your core, because that is where your fire is, Banji. So you breathe in and breathe out. And part of this process, as you're walking through, you realize you're warming up from the inside out.
Nice.
And he says, as they go through, you release that energy that you are building. And after a little while, you realize that this fire that's coming almost out of your mouth by comparison to your hands when you're doing this firewall is so much hotter and so much stronger because of that core temperature. Wall of Fiery Breath, defended maneuver.
Awesome. Thank you.
Breathe a gout of flame that keeps foes back as you maneuver away from them. Mark 1 condition and move to a new position. Foes must keep their distance and become disengaged, or if they try and push through the flame, they suffer 4 fatigue.
Oh, that's huge.
Cheapers. And it's just learned at the moment, yeah?
No, you can actually upgrade that because you already have a base to it, so it's now practiced.
Awesome.
And I think Iroh says to you, to master this technique, you must use it to protect someone from your friends. And that is your mastery condition.
It's
Protect someone
protect someone from my friends. Cool.
from.
Full disclosure, I'm going for kill shots from now on, so you might actually get that. No.
Interesting.
Cool. I will write that down.
Perfect. After some period of time, I feel that the island masses beneath you begin to line up with what you sort of expect them to look like.
Are we seeing? We're not seeing snow yet, are we?
Yeah, there would be ice and snow around.
Okay, Nuro's transfixed by that. Like they've seen the little iceberg. They're from a distance. They saw their big thing, but like this is like, oh, water in the air?
There's probably none in the air at the moment, but
Yeah.
there's definitely some on the slopes. Like it's what
Yeah.
you see white, you see ice, and you see
Brilliant
snow around.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
I imagine Sudi is like nestling close to my collar, like trying to stay warm.
Yeah, 100%, just shivering away. That's great Foley work.
I'm sure Nuro's just like, it's beautiful.
I mean, that blanket's floating around. Iroh didn't really need it.
Nuro, put the blanket on. I can't understand you when you're shivering and your teeth are chattering.
Okay. Her kit is under the blankie.
Okay. I like that you see the lump in that like cartoon fashion just go bloop, 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 and then all of a sudden, like it sort of swirls up and you pop your head up and you're like E.T. wrapped up in it.
Yes, E.T. mode right now.
And you can point with your finger, it's like there. Because you are the one that could identify this mass, what do we call it? It was almost like a rock underneath the surface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's the entrance was just underneath, like this
Yeah, it's like a
island
cave that
that's-
was submerged or something. so
Yeah,
you
the
have to-
island itself is submerged as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically it's a more interesting way to think about it. It's probably a cave, but there was no entrance.
Right, it was that you wouldn't be able to see the entrance from anywhere up the top, but Nuro knows where the entrance
There's like
is?
a staircase, right?
No.
No, I thought it was like...
It was like
You had to... the only way you could get in there is like going under the water and
Yeah.
then back up into the cave.
Also no. As far as you could tell, the cave is completely sealed.
Oh.
But
Could walk through walls at the time.
true, but I saw, but I think that one of the questions hinted at me knowing that there was a potential way underneath the water.
Yeah, that's what I thought as
Yeah. I remember.
episode that you...
I remember getting that information that if I wanted to.
No, sorry, that would be my miscommunication. It was you could tell where it is under the water,
Okay.
which means by comparison to anybody that was just on a boat, for example, would go over the top of it and think nothing of it.
Right, okay.
Whereas from up high, you could be like, that's where it is,
All right.
but you still need to figure out how to get in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the stick's useless. There's some kind of veil, some kind of something blocking me from seeing what's really there, but it's right there. I know it is under the water. We just gotta find a way.
Like in the ice? Under the water in the ice? Or...
It's like a cave under the water.
Right.
I don't think Hikaru can go under the water. At least not in this freezing cold water.
I too would prefer not to go under the water.
Well, you're a couple of fiery boys. Why don't we just land on top and you melt your way through?
Just like you look down, Min, and to you, it's just ocean.
Yeah, I don't think there's no ice over the top or anything.
Oh.
It's just water.
This is an underwater cave with no entrance.
Look, I can make a bubble and go down there. I can maybe fit one or two.
Well, look, I'm the least comfortable in the inside the water in terms of my usefulness. I mean, I can swim fine. I've been in the north for a while, but the reality is I think I'll be very little help. I don't see any land anywhere. So, you all can do things in the current situation that I can't. I don't even have my rope anymore. So, I mean, if you all need to go down, I'm happy to wait with Hikaru.
Aren't you an earthbender?
Yes, aren't we above the ocean?
But if it is a cave that is made of earth, can you not?
Is it made of earth? I would assume it would be made of ice.
No, it's made of earth.
All right, well. Oh.
Right about there, man. I point down.
Banji sort of gets back in the captain's seat and points Hikaru down to, like, not into the water, but into like a sort of VTOL hovering. Like,
Yeah, he yeah, I think he corkscrews down, and then you create almost like a little halo around roughly where the thing should be. As you're closer, you begin to realize that it is a slightly different color. From looking up here, you can sort of see that maybe there is something that's not too far down.
I don't know. Tomo, what do you think?
How big of an air bubble can you make? Enough for all of us?
You know what? I could try. I've been able to make one big enough for me and Banji before.
Let's...
But if you try to do all of us and then it goes wrong, then we're all going to be wet and freezing and cold. That's my only and that will kill us here.
Look, I'm going down there. Either you stay up here or you come with me.
All right, I'll go. If you think it's rock down there, I'll go.
Maybe take Minh Fang first. And when you get down there, use your earthbending to maybe create some sort of a pocket for us or open the way to make sure we can have a smooth trip inside.
Sure, if there's enough earth, I might be able to get some sort of tube up or something. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Okay. Do we have rope or anything?
Nope.
Officially, no.
All right. Okay. Hikaru, can we scale down your tail, please? Can you lower just a little?
Yeah, I think you notice that, like, Hikaru does sort of drop his tail. He doesn't stop movement.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too hard with the amount of people that are there. He does slow down. He drops his tail. And you notice when he puts his tail in the water, like, it almost immediately comes back up.
Yeah.
So he tries to get as close to the water level, but is not, like, it's cold.
Okay.
It's very cold.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say, like, let's just scale down the tail as far as we can. And it's going to take so much concentration, but Nuro just wants to try and slowly create this bubble as we go into the water, kind of like just the water like parts beneath us with my special flowy motions that I've learned.
Let's roll relies on your skills and training.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a 3.
That's a 3? Mm-hmm. I think that you get down there and you were not ready for how heavy this water feels because it's cold. Like, if you think about it from a chemical standpoint, it's as non-reactive as it gets. Hot water is so full of energy, whereas this is the opposite, and it feels so heavy to you compared to what you're used to. Jesse, I reckon Minh Fang has a chance to do one thing, and mark a condition, by the way, Georgie.
I think I see.
Sorry.
I think I see Nuro struggling. What condition do you mark? Out of curiosity. Like what does Min see you failing to do this?
Probably like I would be very insecure.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, it's that motion of, like, you put your hands out to create this bubble and it goes and almost immediately you are pushed down.
Yeah.
Like the arms are still out, but like the bubble immediately shrinks and you're just like, wow, this is, cannot do this.
All right, Nuro, stop. Look.
Oh, you're there. Like,
Yeah, like we failed to do it, so we're not in the water, right?
yeah. As it went down, like that was the whole purpose. So going.
I mean, like at that point, I was still just trying to create that parting, so I hadn't gone in yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they did say that. So
okay.
I'm just a bit...
I'll rephrase then. I think that the parting begins fine. It's not until you start moving down and you realize that, like, you are surrounded by it, that it drops back.
So the water collapses around us as well.
Not yet. It's like it has shrunk down, and you've got sort of one action to do what you're going to do before you need to.
All right.
Go from there.
I don't understand how we're not falling into the water though. What am I standing on? What am I?
We're
what am
holding
I
on to Carl's tail still.
Yeah, but is he like?
I thought
he's
I thought
fine.
you were dropping onto the rock shelf.
Yeah, but that's so far down though, right?
2 meters.
Oh, okay, great. That's not a problem then.
Yeah. The bubble, basically the bubble you create, you see, oh, there's rock right there. We're going to go stand on it so we can do what we need to do. And then the second you're on it, that's when the water began to, like, really push back against you.
Sure. All right. Well, I go, Nuro, if you have to drop it, but that's enough space for me to get down there. Min's going to jump down and even though he knows Nuro doesn't have it, he knows that he just needs to get something done. So he's going to jump down, and as he lands, he's going to pull some rock up around either side, like in a sort of circle around him.
Mm-hmm.
And as he starts pulling this rock up and sort of like he does a couple of stamps and 1, 2, and sort of throws his fists up and is like slowly building like a very small tube and pulling it back up. So there's like a tunnel for him to.
Let's rely on your skills and training because the term slowly is not necessarily utilizable here.
Sure, but I know he doesn't have the it's not going to. Seven.
Okay. So in this case, you do it imperfectly. I think what happens is that you make your start here. You make a little bit of a wall that you can, or a foundation that you can work on. So you do this, but then you are marking a condition and a fatigue. But you succeed in building this tunnel.
Yeah, I'm going to mark troubled because he knows now that he's going to get wet and cold is not good, and that shock is going to be pretty draining. So
Yeah.
marks that fatigue. I think he keeps at it though and does it until there's sort of like essentially like a tube of rock sticking out of the water.
Yep.
Without any water in it. That
What's Nuro doing in this time?
Well, just trying to hold the water. Like I imagine that they might have just gotten like a tiny bit of a grasp to be able to just like part it long enough for Min to accomplish that.
Yep.
And as soon as you have, like, probably it just, like, lets go. And I don't know how much splashes you, but they're just like, I'm so sorry, man.
It's fine. It's fine.
You are both exceptionally cold.
Once the tube is up and out of the water, he puts his hands on the wall and, like, pulls out a ladder, like, of rock for them to, like, climb down.
Yep.
And then I'm actually going to try and detect the heavy step.
You can't outside of combat. You need to succeed. You need to master it in combat first.
Before I can use it as a regular thing. Sure.
Stuff will teach me.
All right, I'm just going to brute force it then. I'm just going to start punching down.
Once you make that tube, you realize that, like, you basically hit it once and it gives way underneath.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Well, I'd slip and start falling down it then because it just goes. And I'm like, what?
You fall maybe 3 meters, like, down to hit the ground.
Yep.
It was not as big as you thought.
All right. Well, as soon as I'm down there, I'm going to give them a way to not fall. Maybe just some stairs or a luge, a light luge for them to slide down.
Yeah,
since I've done a
Nuro
luge
slides down
before.
the luge.
One thing you notice, and this is thanks to your, between the two of you, no one had a complete success, is that there is a little bit of water trickling in. You don't know where from, though, so you can't seal it up. But it means that your time will be, when I say limited, it's not like you need to do this immediately, but it's very likely that unless you reseal this entire thing at some point, this cave will eventually flood.
Right. Well, I think once everyone's in there, I'll seal us up so we have time, but then knowing that, like, we got to get what we need and go because it's not going to, like, we've ruined this place essentially by getting into it.
Yeah, you've cracked the shell.
Yeah.
Everybody is just heading on down.
Okay, it's fine to come in. Ish. I would hurry up though.
Banji sort of looks at Hiro and then turns to Hikaru and is like, Hikaru, if this old man tries anything, you have 100% express permission to eat him. And then he wanders off to the tail to sleep.
Oh, I was planning to come with you.
Oh, great.
And he pats on Hikaru's like, you can still eat me though if it goes badly.
And yeah, then Banji heads down to the tube. And once he kind of gets in, are you in the tube as well?
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Once he kind of gets in, he's going to summon that inner heat that Iroh just taught him and create like a flame from his hand, like a torch kind of thing to sort of light the way and maybe offer a bit of heat for those around.
I definitely push you towards Minh Fang, who would have gotten the worst.
I'm shivering. Oh god.
I think I would also like to. Nuro would try and approach it in a way in which they try to control the moisture in plants and everything, but they can feel the moisture in your clothes. I think they would like to just try to take as much of that wetness out of your clothes as possible.
Yeah, I think you do that.
Yeah.
the problem that you've got is that you are very, very, very cold at your core. So even with that gone, eventually it'll go away. But like for now, it's a bad time. Anything fancy from Tomo?
No.
Okay. Everyone makes their way down, and Banji's light glows a little bit brighter so that you can see what you can see. There are a few things of note. 1, this room is filled with treasure. There are scrolls that look like they have some sort of tapestries or paintings in them. There are like vases and urns, some smashed, some fine. There is actual treasure of gold and jewels and whatever floating about.
Yanni would have loved this.
Yanni would have loved this. And in the middle of this room is a statue of what appears to be a young woman, incredibly slender, really long neck, skinny wrists, palms out, almost like at the time that this sculpture was made, she was levitating. And sitting on top of that statue's head is a puffin fly, which is a puffin with butterfly wings. And it looks at all of you.
Tomo bows. Great spirit, we have been sent here by Wan Shi Tong.
That old buzzard? What do they want? Aria, I think there are some ones here for you.
Book of War is Lucas Lee as Tomo, Georgie Hazel as Nuro, Ted Darling as Banji, myself Jesse Thomas as Minh Fang, and Ash Cooper as our Grand Master of the White Lotus. Our theme song and outro, The Book of War Remains, is by Matt Harrison, and additional sound effects and music are from zapsplat.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram just by searching up The Book of War and Avatar Legends Real Play. If you want to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/The Book of War podcast. For $5 US a month, you can support the show and gain access to Written in Flames, our prequel arc, the Reading the Book of War, our director's commentary on the show, and Blood and Bone, our Halloween one-shot special. There'll be more content coming in there as well. We have a lot planned, including a Christmas-themed one-shot that will be coming up very shortly, and we will have more info for you soon. If you still want to support the show but don't have the money at the moment, or are not in a position where you can give us money, that is perfectly fine. All you need to do is tell your friends. I mean, if you have friends, which I'm certain you do, I'm sure you became friends because of your shared love for Avatar. So, send it to your friends. Send it to people that you think might enjoy it. If you have friends that listen to tabletop podcasts, that's actually also going to be most likely our kind of listeners. So you can help the show in many ways, and that is just one of them. So please, tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best way to grow this podcast. Just a reminder, folks, we will be taking a break for the month of December. It's a crazy time of year, and it's just not viable for us to keep recording. However, if you are on the Patreon, be aware that there will absolutely be content available to you, including our Christmas one-shot run by Lucas, so that's exciting. The next episode will be out January 6th next year, so put it in your calendars, put it in your diaries. Also, exciting news, Ash is going to be doing a question and answers session we're calling Author's Notes, a little behind the scenes look at how Ash comes up with his plots and characters for the show, and it's going to be fueled by you, the listeners. We want you to submit any questions you might have, but as an added bonus for our Patreon members are actually invited to be there live in the Discord chat while he records so they can ask him things on the fly. If you're a regular listener, you'll still get to see it a few days later once it goes up, and this will kind of be our fill-in for the holiday break. We'll be holding it on the 27th of December at 12 p.m. midday Australian Eastern Standard Time, or 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on the 26th for our US listeners. That might change if the majority of the patrons need it to. This could be an excuse you've been waiting for to join the Patreon, but there's still no pressure. He'll try and answer everything he gets. through either Facebook, email, or Instagram. So if you need any of those links, you can find it in our episode descriptions. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Sorry, can you say that again?
hell was that?
Tommy.
Or his ass.
You gotta poop? Poop poop pee pee?